lord, it's whatever this league is, UPBA week 7. Where's week 6? Nobody watches these that doesn't already know where that is. Doesn't hasn't happened yet. Easy money. So I'm still 4-1. This guy's, I don't know, 4-2 probably at this point. Something like that. I don't know. He might have been. I don't think he was 5-1 at this point. I don't know. Either way, it's Manbird and the Fort Wayne Gastrodons. And as you can see from his team, he's got a team. Doesn't make sense. So just quick honorable mentions before I get into what he's got, what I've got. He had an Azumarill, which I was like, kind of scary. I don't really have a water resist, but I do have. That's not a lie. That's a lie. Fuck my brain. I have Manaphy, and I am Assault Vest Manaphy. Just a little thing out there, so I can Energy Ball it. I'm assuming I have it. I don't know why I wouldn't. He had a Nidoqueen, which I was like, fuck Nidoqueen, thing's obnoxious. Another reason, a part of the reason for AV Manaphy as the main answer to that, because ground, fire, and poison, and maybe ice, so he could be AV Nidoqueen or Shuka or something. It could be bad. I thought that was a threat. He's got a Slurpuff, and I was like, don't sweep me with Slurpuff. Oh wait, I have Scizor. And then I Ninjask. I was like, don't speed pass. He's gonna speed pass anyways. So that's it. So I have like a normal-ish Scizor set. I think just bulky with some attack and Roost and Defog. I have like a bulky Rhyhorn, or right, well, that's a Rhydon with a bunch of attacks. I have Life Orb Thundurus and Life Orb Ribombee because they obliterate his team. Because Garchomp is the fastest thing on his team, and it's a Mega Garchomp. So if he wants to Mega, it'll be even slower. So after that, Zapdos and Mew are his fastest. And then I was just like a setup Zygarde with Draggy Z. So we'll just hop into the battles. Battle sucks, by the way. Because I suck, but that's okay. Like it's actually it's a totally fine battle. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just bad at this game. So I'm gonna lead with I think Ribombee because I'm a lord. No, okay. I lead with Manaphy, and I don't particularly remember why, but it kind of works out. So I'm gonna U-turn, and I'm like, oh, I'm a faster baby. So I figured he might try to status. He might just go like turn 1 setup. He could even potentially Z move, but I'm like, maybe he's probably just going for like rocks or something. But he whirlwinds me, which is interesting. So in case I went for the turn 1 setup, he whirlwinds. So I don't actually know if I outspeed this thing because Manaphy is not very fast. It's pretty bulky. So I go into Zygarde, or I get whirlwind into Zygarde. I'm like, well, this thing's got leftovers. U-turn actually did a decent amount, so I'm like, it can't be like super defensive. But I'm like, I'm gonna get Will-O-Wisp here like 100%. So I'm gonna go back in Depth Charge. Just to take that as he Will-O-Wisp. So now my U-turn doesn't do as much damage, but it's also kind of whatever. So right now I've seen Will-O-Wisp and Whirlwind. I'm like, this is an interesting Mew set. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do with this, but depending on his last 2 moves, it could still be a threat. And then I see Baton Pass. I'm like, okay, well, this is no attack Mew, because why else does he have Baton Pass and 2 setup moves? So I'm like, okay, well, Mew's sorted. That's not a huge deal. So I just go for Surf because it hits most of his stuff. And it does quite a bit to Klefki. It's not quite a 3-hit KO. Alright, well, it's close. It would totally depend on Leftovers recovery. But I know he's not like Recycle Berry or nothing like that. But then he shows Sunny Day, and I'm like, that's just like obnoxious. I see why he would do that, but like I'm not Z Manaphy, so it's not like I would have like Z Rain Dance. But I guess like it's still I guess he was still pretty afraid of Manaphy. So if I had set up outspeed his whole team, especially if he's not max speed Garchomp, then this thing could basically stop me from +3 will murder everything, but then plus like 1 I think essentially for the thing. So whatever. So I'm just gonna U-turn here because I'm not gonna surf in the sun. And I don't want to just hard switch in case he switches or something and see what he does. Manaphy is better off taking a hit than anything else. So it's fine. He gets spiked up, but it is annoying. I do have Scizor for defog, but it's going to be a little bit tough to get a chance for that because Scizor is basically a free switch for Zapdos, which is annoying, but I still kind of need a Scizor to check a few of his stuff. So I'm just going to go straight for Thunderbolt. Not going to mess around. Unfortunately, he's on the Sarina, and it does not do very much. I look at that like, he might be Assault Vest. He might just be very specially defensive. I'm not really sure, but Sludge Wave does not take him out. Obviously, I didn't expect it to, but I also was like, I figured knockoff was coming. and it does a lot. But I was like, well, I do lose my life orb now, and I'm gonna go for HP Ice just in case he tries to get a little bit fancy with me. But it doesn't matter. I take out Serena, which is nice. The Sunlight Phase, which is nice. But I do have Spikes, and I do have a very hurt Thundurus. So he's gonna switch into Zapdos. I'm just gonna go for the Thunderbolt. I'm like, I can get damage on this thing. I mean, he's probably just gonna Thunderbolt me, but I figured I can't go into Zygarde on a Zapdos. In case he has HP Ice. I have to kind of assume he has HP Ice, but he shows a U-turn, which I'm like, okay, that's like good for me. And I did quite a bit of damage with that Thunderbolt, especially because my Life Orb got knocked off. So like I'm looking like pretty good. But he's gonna go into Kitty Cat Meow Man, and I'm like, I don't have Focus Blast. I had HP Ice, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, and I think Dark Pulse maybe. But he's gonna knock me off. I was kind of worried about Fake Out. But that's fine. Based on the Thunderbolt damage, I think I thought that he isn't AV. I feel like AV would have done a lot less, especially because my Life Orb got knocked off. So I'm looking at a pretty good position. Cluffsy is getting chipped. Incineroar's gotten chipped. I'm like, well, especially if he's an AV, I'm almost in a position where Rubambi can just kind of sweep now, because I'm gonna do 1,000,000 damage to Mew and Garchomp. If Klefki and Incineroar are, chipped enough and Klefki doesn't have like Prankster T-Wave, which he easily could, that's fine. But he does go for Sunny Day again. I figured I would stay in. I don't think I U-turn, but I do. Past me is pretty good because I basically predicted the Sunny Day or something else. So that's fine. I can go into Scizor, and I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to defog. But I was like, to an extent, I mean, he probably outspeeds the Mega Scizor. I don't really remember how fast Klefki is. I think they might both be 75 base speed. So I am going to U-turn instead of defog. The spikes are annoying to have up, but I basically knew Zapdos was coming in. And I figured instead of risking switches and doing defogging, which, in hindsight I should have done, but I'm going to U-turn. So that's fine with me. It does actually a decent amount. And he stacks me. And I'm like, that's annoying. I guess Mew can't Wisp me now, which is like potentially very good. But it's also like obviously risking parrots later. So now I'm gonna make a move here. Let me get this Rubambi in. So he's getting leftovers back. I'm just gonna pause 1,000 times. I don't know the sequence of events. So when you saw the Zapdos come in, it was at probably like at 60% health before the U-turn, and I U-turned him a little bit down to 50, probably like 49, and now he's back up to like maybe like 55 after leftovers. I'm just below thing. So I'm like, okay, non-life orbed Thunderbolt from Thundurus, which does have more special attack than Rubambi, don't get me wrong, except Rubambi's modest, so it doesn't. Did like, basically 45% because he got the leftovers after I Thunderbolted the one time. Oh no, he didn't. He U-turned out. So you know what? I think I actually confused myself with that because he only got the leftovers from right now, but I had assumed that he had gotten leftovers already. So I thought I had done like 45% with that Thunderbolt, but I probably only did like 40 to 39%. So basically, I calced it and I was like, well, I could go into like Rhydon and try to do stuff like predict him to switch or to get rocks up or do something. But I was like, based on that, I was like, I'm modest Life Orb Rubambi, and the Thunderbolt hit came. So I was like 40% versus like 60%, and I don't even need to do 60%. I don't need to do 1.5 times as much damage as Thundurus did. I need to do like 1.15 or something. So I'm like, I have a good chance. I could have Quiver Dance too, but I didn't know what he had. I was just very confident this would kill, but I messed up my math or something, and he lives on what can't be more than like 6 HP. So Lefty's doing him a huge favor there, and I die to a Heat Wave. So basically, Rubambi was more or less my win con, and I'm basically screwed now because I don't have as much to hit Mew, especially with Will-O-Wisps going around. Now I go into Rhydon, and I'm like, well, he has nothing on his team to take an Earthquake, besides like Mew, but Mew has a Will-O-Wisp me. Garchomp doesn't really want to take like an Ice Punch, but I obviously will have. So I'm just going to Earthquake, and I figured he would U-turn. He has to have HP Ice, I figured, for for Zygarde. But now that I see his moveset, I'm like, well, I've seen U-turn, I just saw Roost, and I saw Heat Wave. He's gonna have Thunderbolt. I'm like, he didn't bring HP Ice against a fucking Zygarde. I could have U-turned out a Scizor into Zygarde and just like set up and done a million damage, not even had to sweep, because I would have just my brain broke. I would have done enough damage that Rabami could have cleaned up. So I'm going to Toxic his Mew. I figured he might Will-O-Wisp me, he might do whatever. I know he'll Synchronize, but this Mew is kind of an issue right now. I mean, I do see the Rock Polish. I'm like, oh, well, shit, this guy is going to try to Baton Pass speed, probably like almost certainly into Garchomp. And I'm like, well, now he can't Wisp me either, which is great for the Toxic. I figured either I would be Wisped and I couldn't be Toxic back, or I could Toxic him and not be Wisped back. So I'm just going to click Ice Punch, basically to try to prevent him from Baton Passing into Garchomp freely, even though, obviously, like, I don't think, even a regular Garchomp, I don't think my Ice Punch would OHKO. But I actually go into Zygarde, which is, like, frustrating because I was like, I've seen the damage on this Mew, and I'm pretty sure he's max speed, max HP. It would make the most sense, basically. And so that's an issue. So I am gonna Dragon Dance because I figured, okay, I can try to put him in a position where he can't freely Baton Pass. Again, that's what I was trying to do. But I actually just go for the Dragon. So I'm pretty sure I did this out of order. I should have started setting up and forced him to Whirlwind, hoping that I could do enough damage where I could be Whirlwinded into something that could revenge him or whatever. So I should have set up before getting burned, because we see that damage. It does about half of what he has left. And I also could have potentially forced him into a position where I would outspeed him. If I got Dragon Dances up or Coils up. I don't think I have Dragon Dance. I think I only have Coil. So I could have started coiling to basically force him to not be able to go to Garchomp without me like potentially killing him. And I maybe could have killed him with the Z Dragon move, or had him switch in and think, oh, he's burned, he can't kill me. But now he's going to go into Garchomp as I coil. So now I know, okay, well, I can take like a hit from him. Potentially get off my Outrage now. So basically, like, I didn't even need to Z-move Mew, because I was hoping I could bring it down into Toxic range, but he was only a few turns into Toxic. He's like, that was like his third Toxic turn, so, you know, Lefties is mitigating that a bit. So he's going to go into Garchomp, and obviously he's going to Sword Stance, like, that's what you do. So I do have like the +1 from the coil, but the -2 from the burn. And in case you didn't know, if you get a crit while you're burned, it does not ignore the burn. So it's not like I have like a charm where I -2 attack. So that crit wasn't like anything like, whoa, like how is Garchomp so crazy? Because it doesn't matter. So now he's +2. He's gonna kill me, even though I'm +1 defense. Obviously, my Garchomp has like base like 150 attack or something crazy. I pace like 170 attack or something. But now that I've crit him, he's in Bullet Punch range. Obviously would not be if I hadn't crit him. So now I can Bullet Punch him and lose the game because I get paralyzed. And, you know, like, it's annoying because I really can't complain, because I just crit him to get him into range for that Bullet Punch to be able to kill, because I wasn't going to kill him otherwise, because Garchomp has base like Mega Garchomp base like 120 defense or something. So now I'm screwed because he just has Dragon Claw and Earthquake, and I have no priority. I have nothing left. So, you know, it's a chain of events. Basically, I lost the second I tried to Moonblast that Zapdos when he couldn't touch. I couldn't have predicted him not to be able to touch me, but I should have had an inkling that he wouldn't have either. He wouldn't have Heat Wave or HP Ice, basically, because I saw U-turn, and like, I don't know. I mean, maybe at that point I wouldn't have known. Manaphy's going to die, I would say. So I very much screwed up. After I turned out on Zapdos, I should have gone maybe into Zygarde. I was thinking going to Zygarde anyways. I knew I could take an HP Ice and then set up and then start, you know, getting big chunks off. But I was like, well, maybe I wouldn't be able to get enough big chunks off to do whatever. But I really would have. But I also it was partly, I think, because I didn't have Dragon Dance. I only had Coil. I think I might have had both. I think I should be able to check that. But for sure, like it wasn't like a miscalc, because I saw the stuff. I do that. But I have to replay it. But that's fine. You know, I kind of like, it's just, I guess, not having Showdown, being used to Showdown. So when I saw the damage on Zapdos, I was like, I remember that being like, you know, almost 50%. So I'm like, oh, life orb and stuff. But like, I think I overestimated how much damage I had originally done. So when I did a calc on like a pretty bulky Zapdos, I'm like, this should kill. But he was more bulky than I thought, because I basically calced with my Thunderous how much damage I would have expected that Thunderbolt to do, and I was like, well, like this damage range, that I thought I did matches these EVs more or less. It was still like a calm nature Zapdos, but it wasn't like, it was like 56, but he had like 200 like in special. It was something like that where like, he was a lot bulkier than I thought by about 200 points. So I'm not even sure. I could have calced, I guess, that Moonblast to see if that was a roll, because like generally if you live on like 3 HP, it's rare that it's not a roll. But I'm not gonna like pull up the cheaty like ruler that you put over health bars or whatever. So yeah, so it is a misplay, and it is like I can blame that para to like from preventing me from like winning. So I got 4-0'd, which is annoying, because like at the very least differential should have been a lot better. No, I was Dragon Dance Coil, Thousand Arrows Outrage, so I should have completely set up with Zygarde. That's on me. But like otherwise, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I mean, I probably could have Quiver Danced on Zapdos. I was also worried he might have like Drill Peck or something, just like for Ribombee specifically. So I felt once I was in, I couldn't really risk not attacking. But had I Quiver Dance, I'm not sure how much Heat Wave would have done. I have like 52 special defense EVs with +1. So I probably could have like been in a position where like I had 2 or 3 hits left with Life Orb up. So assuming, I mean, he would have gone for Fake Out with Incineroar against Thundurus had he had it. So I doubt he had priority at that point. But at the very least, I could have dented or killed at least one other thing. Plus the Zapdos would have been down, so I wouldn't have had to worry about stuff. And basically, like Mew being in for free was what lost me the game, because obviously he had Speed Pass and Will-O-Wisp, and I basically had physical attackers left and a Manaphy that obviously wouldn't be able to damage it enough. I probably should have gone into Manaphy. I don't know. I don't really know when I should have gone into Manaphy. Probably after Zygarde got Whirlwinded in from Rhydon. I should have just immediately gone back into Manaphy, because then I could basically fire off Ice Beams, force him to Whirlwind again, and I don't know. I guess he still has the chance to Whirlwind to prevent me to basically get me into something like Scizor or. It was basically just Scizor at that point that he could freely Baton Pass on. Zygarde has Dragon moves, but he can Will-O-Wisp the Zygarde, or Rhydon that he can Will-O-Wisp as well. So basically, I don't know, I was kind of screwed. I put myself in a position to lose. I was really mad because I was like, I felt in extremely good position that whole battle. I was doing a bunch of chip. I was like, I put myself in a position to win. And of course, I lost because I'm a doofus. So that's it. We dropped to 4-2 after going 4-0. A bad 4-0 loss. Dents are differential a little bit. I think I'm still positive. Maybe not. Or sorry, of course I'm still positive. I think I'm still above +10. I'm at +10. Something like that. So whatever. It's a tough loss. 2 losses in a row, even though I haven't done week 6. It skipped to week 7. So we'll have to bounce back, because before we know it, we're 4-4, and it's a struggle to make the playoffs. And all of a sudden I end the season 4-8 for no reason. You know what I mean? Like no momentum. But whatever, it's alright. He played well. There's nothing wrong there. I'm really pissed that he didn't have HPI Zapdos that made it free setup for Zygarde, but I never could have predicted that. So like it works out for him. Like I can't really complain, because he did have decent other answers for Zygarde. Obviously he had Willis, Mew, and Sarino, which I mean he sacked. So like the prep kind of makes sense, but it's just like the position you get in the battle despite your prep doesn't necessarily line up. And whatever, I was mad at this battle because of how I played, specifically me. So that's it. Whatever. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for hopefully Redemption Town, baby.